The last human species. Somewhere in Siberia, a single finger bone sat in a cave for 50,000 years. When scientists finally cracked its DNA in 2010, it didn't match us. It didn't match Neanderthals. It matched no human species anyone had ever named. That bone rewrote the human story. Because here's the part they don't teach you in school. For 300,000 of the last 300,000 odd years Homo sapiens existed, we shared this planet with other humans. Not human-like creatures, other people. Some taller than us, some barely 3 feet tall.
Some built to survive ice ages that would kill us in a week. Now there's one. Us. So what actually happened to the rest of them? The answer is stranger and closer to home than you think. Start with the record holder. Homo erectus survived for close to 1.9 million years, nearly 10 times longer than we've existed so far. They were the first humans to leave Africa, the first to control fire, and the first to look from the neck down almost exactly like us. They didn't fade quietly either. The most recent fossils from Ngandong in Java were redated in 2019 to as late as 117,000 to 108,000 years ago, meaning erectus was possibly still alive when our own species had already been walking the Earth for over 150,000 years. 2 human species, same planet, overlapping for millennia, and neither one knew the other existed. Forget the caveman. Neanderthal brains were, on average, slightly larger than ours. They buried their dead. At Shanidar Cave in Iraq, archaeologist Ralph Selecki found a Neanderthal skeleton, missing an arm and blind in one eye, who'd clearly been cared for by his group for years before he died. That's not brute survival. That's a society with people it chose to keep alive. Here's the twist. They never really went extinct. When Svante Pääbo's team sequenced the Neanderthal genome in 2010, they found that almost every person alive today with non-African ancestry carries 1 to 2% Neanderthal DNA. It shapes your immune system. It may affect whether you're a morning person. Some of you watching this are 1/40,000th Neanderthal right now. This is where it gets strange. We don't have a single complete Denisovan skull. We know they existed almost entirely from fragments. That finger bone, a few teeth, a jawbone found in a Tibetan cave at 3,280 meters altitude. And that altitude matters. Modern Tibetans carry a gene called EPAS1 that lets them thrive in low oxygen air. And it came from Denisovans, a species we can't even picture, handed modern humans the genetic tool to live on the roof of the world. We reconstructed an entire vanished population from their leftover code, still running in living people today. Then there's the strangest one. On the Indonesian island of Flores, researchers found a human species standing about 3.4 feet tall, nicknamed the hobbit. They lived alongside Komodo dragons and pygmy elephants on an island where the normal rules of size didn't apply, a process called island dwarfism, where big animals shrink and small ones grow. Revised dating in 2016 pushed their extinction back to roughly 50,000 years ago, right when Homo sapiens was spreading through the region. Coincidence?
Nobody knows for sure. That uncertainty is the point. We don't actually have a clean answer for why they disappeared. Strip away the myths, and one pattern holds across every species on this list. It's rarely a single cause. Climate swings shrank habitats. Small, isolated populations became genetically fragile. And when Homo sapiens arrived somewhere new, we often outcompeted for the same limited resources. Sometimes we interbred instead of replacing entirely, which is exactly why their DNA is still in us. We weren't necessarily smarter. We were probably more adaptable,
in bigger, better connected groups at exactly the right moment. So the last human species isn't really accurate. Homo sapiens didn't outlast the others so much as absorb pieces of them. Their genes are in your blood right now, still doing a job for you, hundreds of thousands of years after their bodies disappeared. We didn't just survive them. In a very real sense, we're carrying them. Which extinct human species do you find most fascinating? Neanderthals? Denisovans? Or the hobbits of Flores?
Drop it in the comments.